Thoughts? Guys, I can't talk anymore, so sum it up. Impressions, the day that...
So I've been coming to this conference for a number of years now, and I think this one feels a little bit different. And my sense is that you should all be feeling extremely bipolar right now. Because on the one hand, we see the promise of all of this stuff, and we're seeing stuff 5 years ago, 10 years ago that we were talking about is now coming to play out. I mean, these sensors are getting really good, and they're getting interconnected, and we have all of these capabilities, and we can see this promise. And on the other hand, we see the reality of the hacking capabilities and the vulnerabilities and then the ethical issues around this. And so I feel like this is, in some ways, the most realistic. We've come to a very realistic place to where there was a lot of energy and a lot of excitement and a lot of evangelism, and now we're mixing that in with the reality and the gravity of this, because we are talking about people's lives, whether it's the military or whether it's healthcare, and I think that's a really good thing. It's very easy to be an evangelist and excited about cool stuff. It's hard to do the really difficult work of sorting out how you make it safe, how you make it meaningful, and how you get efficacy.
Yeah, I kind of agree that there's definitely a different feeling this year. I think, Todd, you may have been here a little bit more than I have, but I think it's been 6 or 7 years. I know this has been going on for 11 years, but in the past, I think there was that same spirit of innovation, but I think that this year it feels like there's just a lot more progress that's been happening, and everybody's doing their projects, and we're all making a lot of progress, but I also think technology's catching up. I know you mentioned that there's just a lot of technology. You can't just have technology, you have to actually apply it, but I think that's what's happening. We're applying technology more smartly, and also there's just, it really is a little bit of the word convergence, where things are coming together. There's applications that are being, that are making the pockets of things that people are doing are starting to come together, and but I do think the problem is that now the sense of urgency is even greater, because there is so much more to do. And now that we do have the technologies, like simple technologies that weren't around before, Wi-Fi, broadband, technologies that, again, we took for granted maybe when they were first started, they're completely ubiquitous. I mean, even like 3 or 4 years ago, you wouldn't have really thought that the cloud was a real thing. It was almost like this, this kind of thing you would see on Silicon Valley on HBO, but it really is like there's a real cloud there, and and now people are, it's almost so seamless, and the data is everywhere, and then obviously there's issues with security on that. But I do think there's also a real kind of application of the technology that's happening, and you're seeing it more. But I would ask the group here that everybody here the sense of urgency is that you are all the innovators, and we need to move, I think, more fast to get the solutions, but also more fast together. That would be my thing, is that can we move more fast together and combine some of the work we're all doing, which is a combination of story, technology, and other things, and medicine, but can we do that and work together to move faster?
Yeah, and I guess for those of us who've practiced medicine, Mark, for years and done everything kind of the same way, the idea that we can suddenly scale our experts, scale healthcare to the globe, for me, it still keeps me, starry-eyed. And you heard all these needs from military patients. They're always there. No doctor can ever meet their patients' needs. It's one of the great dissatisfactions of practicing medicine. It's almost like the harder you work, the less you're able to please everyone, because you get more patients and more responsibility. So the idea that you can actually create service and meet needs and take care of the basic, people and the needs of the military and stuff, it keeps me there. But I get to watch what you asked for. So thank you all, and thank you for staying. We must thank Brad, first of all, and we must thank our team. Can we show the team, Katitha, which includes you? We have an army of medical students our biggest challenge is getting them back to medical school. After this, we want to thank our colleagues. Our sponsors have been terrific. Thanks you, everyone, for believing in us, for working with us. We have a huge amount of support. And for being here. This is a little bit of a marathon. We understand we put people through a lot here, but hopefully, you give it some soak time and really come away invigorated.